Hi guys, welcome to another Walk and Talk with Ray. Y'all, I'm a happy girl. Can I tell you why? It's 60 degrees. The sun is out. The trees are treeing. The flowers are blooming. It is spring. And as your girl loves to be outside, I am outside and I am enjoying it. Sorry. I'm so hyped. I don't know about y'all, but it's like seasons really do change your mood. Like the sunlight hits different. Being outside when it's warm is like a whole nother level of self-love and self-care. I don't know about y'all, but that's just where I am. But anyway, how are we doing? Welcome to this Walk and Talk with Ray. How's our week? How's our day? Are we like, yo, I'm over this already? We're in April. See, look at me. We're in April. How's your week treating you? How's your year going? All the stuff. So this Walk and Talk, I just want to just give y'all kudos. Just remind you of just some stuff. Just want to talk. Nothing specific. I just kind of want to just talk. It's just nice out. And I haven't talked to y'all in a while. But for my people who have done the work, spring reminds me of okay, winter, you go through the cold, all the stuff, and then boom, you spring up. For those people who have been through the mess, but don't let the mess define you, I want you to know I'm proud of you. It takes so much work. I was reflecting on this earlier today, and I'm like, it really takes a lot of work and strength to become something that you've never been. Not only to other people, but to yourself. When your mind is used to, maybe how you grew up, or your mind is used to the things that you've seen or the things that you've heard. Your mind is used to the trauma you've been through. It's hard to trust the Lord that there's more. To trust the Lord that isn't the end of your story. And I just want to say I'm proud of you. If you've been doing this walk and talk journey with me, or this podcast journey with me, I think we're going on 2.5 years. And for one, just thank you for walking this healing journey out, this breaking moment out with me. But if you're new to it, also thank you for, joining. It's, as I talk with you guys, I am healing and learning things about myself and learning more and more about the Lord as I go. And sometimes it's really not easy. And I always say it when I do my stuff, I never want y'all to think, oh my God, look at her. And it's no, I have some days that I don't want to get out of bed. I have some days where, I'm a therapist, y'all, where I'm I don't feel like being a therapist because I need to be my own therapist right now. There's some days that are just so hard. The other day, I literally just couldn't. I was off, and then work hit, and I couldn't do it. I had to call my mentor. She had to bring me right back up. She always does. Love her. And then I'm all right, let's do this thing. But I just wanted to remind us that even the moments where it feels like we're set back, it's a reminder of really how far we've come. Because I am not the same person. And I'm sure you're not the same person. If you're listening to my podcast, you shouldn't be the same person, because the stuff that we talk about requires you, if you're implementing it, right? It requires you to grow. It requires you to become something that you've never been, and to do things that you've never done. And I was reflecting on this earlier, right? When we go to therapy, right? How many of us go to therapy just to vent? That happens. But then I think the magic happens, yes, if you go to therapy, good job. But what do you do when you leave the therapist's office? When you guys talk about coping skills and you talk about, she opened your eyes or he opened your eyes to a new way to do something. What are you doing when you leave that session? I think of it as sports. I athlete my whole life. I can go into a game, strike out 3 times, which I'm going to be mad if I did that. But the point is, I can go to a game and strike out, and then am I going to go to the next game the same way, or am I going to reflect on what I did right and wrong and make an adjustment? And so that's part of this healing journey. That's part of this walk, even with the Lord, right? There's going to be some things that we just don't get right. There's going to be some things we don't understand, but it's about how we respond. I'm learning in my young years of life, it's really about how you respond to the things that happen to you. And there's some things that we've been through that we don't understand. We're going through some things that we don't understand. I'm like, Lord, I don't get this. But how do I respond to not understanding what the Lord is doing? Am I angry? Am I frustrated? Am I cussing people out? Am I taking it out on my family? Am I taking it out on my coworkers? Or am I doing the work of like, God, what are you teaching me? Am I doing the work of, sitting with myself and asking myself, hey, why does this trigger me? And I think that's where the money is right there. Anybody can go to therapy. Anybody can do these big things. You go get the help you need, which is great. But what do you do when you leave the help? I want to just marinate there, because there's some of us that's been doing the work, and I just want to give me a 5. And I want to say I'm proud of you, because it's hard work. There's some days where it feels like, God, does it matter? And it's hard, but it matters, because you're the one that's going to be the difference in your family. You're becoming the person that the Lord needs you to be, not only for you and not only for your future and your people, but for yourself. It feels good when you can look at yourself in the mirror and look at yourself and say, I love me, and not fake it and not say it just because I'm supposed to, but mean it. It feels good when you can give yourself a hug and love yourself. And so I just want to come on here. I'm kind of just rambling really, because I haven't talked to y'all, and I just want to, talk to y'all. I love talking to y'all, but it's something about when you start to really look at yourself and love who the Lord created you to be, even in the mess, even what you've been through 20 years ago, even what you did 5 years ago. You know what? That's a part of my story, but that does not end the story. That is a part of who I was. Oh, there's the eagle. Look at that bad boy. Look at that bad boy. Hopefully you guys can see it. I just flipped my camera. Yeah. But my point is, there's something beautiful on the other side of when you get through the mess and you start to realize, God, I see why you put me through that. I see why that happened. And sometimes we don't always get that hindsight all the time, and maybe in the times we want, but there are moments where it's like, okay, that made sense. And then there's moments where you're like, wow, I had to go do that to be who I am. And just there's moments where this moment just feels so like the best feeling in the world that it was worth all the other stuff. So for my people who's just starting the healing journey, who's just listening, I want to encourage you to not give up. I'm saying that because, I created the podcast because I went through my own mental health journey. I was going through some stuff that I just didn't understand. And I was like, I can't be the only one. Let's do this thing. So there are good days though and bad days. Like I said, there was 3 days ago where I was like, I'm done. I'm done with everything. And I had to call for backup. And my backup came through. And we're looking in another day. And so it's a journey. I want to encourage you that it's a journey. This healing journey is a journey. I want to encourage you that, if you're doing the work, it matters. There's sometimes when we go through stuff, we think it doesn't matter. No one's applauding us. No one's saying things. It matters, and I'm proud of you. And most importantly, he's proud of you. He's proud of you when you used to cuss people out and now you don't. He's proud of you when you used to, abandon yourself, but now you're setting boundaries to protect you and your peace and your mental health. God's proud of you when you used to hate yourself, but now you're starting to do things because you love you. God is proud of you when you used to people please, but now you're not doing it. You're God pleasing. There's so many things that, every person is different, and so I just encourage you this week I want you to take time each day this week to just reflect on what you did differently that you would have never done. And that's how growth starts. I think we think, and myself included, when I started healing, is like, I got to be this and that, and it's not working. But then I started seeing little things like, wait, I used to react to that, but I didn't today. Good job, Regine. And little by little, then you're like, whoa, you can't even recognize the girl in the mirror, because the traumatized you becomes a healed version of you. And there, like I said, there will be moments where that old man peeks in, because he's, the old man is going to be the old man. But it's when those moments when you can really see your growth. When you are thrown an obstacle, you can see really how far you've come in your journey of healing, And so, long story short, I just want to say I'm proud of you guys. Sometimes we need that encouragement. I know I do sometimes, and I'm like, oh, does it matter that Does anything matter that I'm doing? It matters. You going to therapy, it matters. You becoming a healed version of you matters. You being the first one in your bloodline to do something good matters. You holding the door open for somebody matters. You not cussing people out matters. And I want you to know I'm proud of you, and most importantly, God's proud of you. God is proud of you because God gives us free will. You can really do whatever you really wanted to. But the fact that you are trusting him to allow you to become more like him, he's proud of that. Because you didn't have to choose that, but you did. So I want you to remember that choosing the Lord will never steer you in the wrong direction. The Lord is always the way to go. So whatever he's telling you to do, do it. The Lord loves you, and the Lord knows his plans for you, and he's proud of you. And I just want to shoot that reminder to you. The Lord is proud of you, and the Lord loves you, and so do I. And until we meet again, friends, peace.